She is a law clerk with Judge John Laney, and the executive committee has approved her membership, and we're happy to have her with us as a member of the bar and as a member of a new member of the local bar association. Colleen Godfrey was approved by the executive committee some time back. That name sounds familiar because she is Judge Maureen Godfrey's daughter. She is working for Judge Gil McBride as his law clerk. I think Judge McBride and probably Colleen are up. He has also been approved. He has been a law clerk for Judge Art Smith, and today is his first day with the Public Defender's Office. So those are the folks that I don't think I've introduced previously. I would make a formal motion at this time that the membership approve all of them as members. Is there a second to that motion? There is a second. All in favor say aye or raise your hand. Any opposed? No opposed. They are all accepted as members. Welcome to the Bar Association, and we look forward to having you here joining us and participating in your local bar. It is fitting now that we turn from the newest members of our Bar Association to our more experienced, seasoned members of our Bar Association who are here with us today. We have 4 individuals that are being honored today and are being recognized today. We celebrate those 4 individuals for their contributions to our Bar Association, but more importantly, their contributions to the legal profession in general and to our legal profession here in Columbus. Each of them has played a valuable role in our legal profession in Columbus, and all of us, old and young alike and everywhere in between, look up to our older lawyers and our more experienced lawyers. We look to them for guidance, we look to them for direction. Sometimes we just look to them to observe how they handle themselves. How do they handle themselves in court? How do they handle themselves when they're dealing with opposing lawyers or opposing parties? Because the practice of law is called a practice for a reason. We're all getting better. We're all hopefully getting better. We're all working to become better lawyers and more effective representatives of our clients. And we get that way, quite frankly, a lot of times by watching those who have gone down the path before us and learning from their example. And we have 4 very fine lawyers here today that we're going to recognize who have taught a lot of lawyers in Columbus a lot of things about the practice of law and how to be a lawyer and be a good lawyer in Columbus. So we salute all 4 of them. At this time, I'm going to start the recognition of these lawyers by turning to Jacob Beal to offer his comments about his friend and colleague, Dick Childs. Jacob.
Thank you, Judge. Richard Allen Childs was born on May 23rd, 1946, in Pellegra, Miasma County, Georgia, which is midway between the Okefenokee Swamps and Climax, Georgia. Shortly after he was born, he was left at his parents' doorstep by a band of gypsy Baptists. His parents lovingly took him in and raised him, but as with his friends and family over the years, they didn't quite know what to make of him, and we still don't. Dick has excelled in academics and sports in elementary and high school, being a member of the 1964 Georgia All-State basketball team. He entered Mercer University in 1964 on a basketball and ROTC scholarships and continued his outstanding academic and sports career and record from high school at Mercer. In reality, however, he made the Mercer University basketball team, varsity team, because he was the shortest player and because he was shorter than Coach Bobby Wilder. While at Mercer, Dick and his ATO fraternity brothers frequently held tent revivals in South Georgia with great success. Those revivals were leading him to the ministry. Sadly, a controversy arose as to the division of the love offerings that were given to Dick at the revivals. The ministers of the attendees at the revivals thought they should share the love offerings. Dick disagreed. He thought otherwise, and then he decided that he wanted to go into the law where love offerings, or fees as we call them, do not have to be shared. He graduated from Mercer in 1968, majoring in history and political science, being Chief Justice of the Honor Council, a member and officer of Blue Key, a member of the Student Council, president of his fraternity, and an honor student in RTC. He entered the Walter F. George School of Law at Mercer University in 1964, but shortly thereafter transferred to the University of Virginia's law school when he heard that they had a diploma that was twice the size of Mercer's and personally signed by Thomas Jefferson. You see, as with Morgan and Morgan, size does matter to Dick. After law school, Dick was an officer in the United States Army for 1 year on active duty, and then went into the inactive reserve from 1972 to 1996, retiring as a field marshal, or that's what it tells me. Dick has practiced in Columbus since 1973 and has had a stellar career as an attorney and a very active in the local and state bar association, the president of the Younger Lawyer section of the state bar, president of the Bar Association here in Columbus, and a member of the Board of Governors from this circuit for 4 terms. In addition, Dick took time off to go to NYU to get a master's in law, in taxation. In 1974, Dick made the smartest decision of his life, and that's when he married Mimi Pease, who has spent the better part of 40 years smoothing out his rough edges with a horse file. They had 1 child, Louisa Banks Charles Smolofsky, a graduate of Dartmouth and of NYU's law school. She and her husband Philip, who is also an attorney, have 1 child, a daughter Olympia, who's almost 3 years of age. I might add that it was not only Louisa's looks and brains that attracted Philip, it was also the fact that she was the only person at NYU who could pronounce his name correctly. They have been living in Columbus for the past year in exile from New York City during this plague epidemic. But enough of ancient history. Dick has been an outstanding practitioner in Columbus and in this state, marrying up a keen mind, legal mind, and an exemplary litigation skills. In short, he can think and talk, usually at the same time. Dick and I shared space for over 20 years without a cross word between us. I thoroughly enjoy the association, and in particular, the 2 occasions we tried cases on the same side. It was during such latter trials that I learned what a skilled practitioner he was. In one case, which went on for many years, Dick finally filed a motion to dismiss on the basis of a 5-year rule, which is a provision in the code that if nothing is filed in order for 5 years, you can ask the court to dismiss it. He threaded that case in the needle very carefully because there were several bankruptcies in between during the term. And he did it in a way that showed that the 5 years actually were there despite the lapses because of the 5-year rule. It is this type of skill and ability that's hard to come by, and it must have been due to that oversized diploma from Virginia.
As the MC of this program, I have given all of our honored guests, they have reserved time for rebuttal, and I've given them a chance to rebut. I have a feeling Mr. Childs would like to offer some rebuttal at this time. Mr. Childs?
Jacob and I did practice law together for a while, and shortly after we started, we had a case against each other, as Jacob mentioned. We had a little office, but Jacob had a law library. And the subject matter involved was something for which Jacob had quite a good bit of expertise, and I was sort of a novice. So I would go over and look at Jacob's treatise on this whole subject. Pretty soon I started leaving my file over there. Jacob started leaving his file over there. Jacob never looked at my file. I never looked at his either, but Jacob, I don't know if you ever found that yellow sheet that said smug in your file. So we tried the case together, and Jacob argued that I was the Wizard of Oz, which he meant, and by which he meant wizard, the wizard. And Jacob won. I've never admitted